So first of all, you need your fabric. I used my B Basics, my B backgrounds, actually 2 of them in the quilt of the backgrounds, and then my B backings and borders collections. You can use your own stash, just use a variety of color. And let's talk about the pressing. So what I want to talk to you about pressing is I like to press my fabric nice and flat before I cut my pieces out. And if I'm going to use steam in my iron or starch at all, I use it before I cut my pieces. I usually don't use steam because I like to use vintage irons because they're nice and hot and get my fabric flat. But you don't want to shrink your pieces after you've cut them. So the stage that you want to use any moisture at all on your fabric is before cutting out your pieces. And then when you go to cut out, you need your mats. I have several different sizes here. You can choose what you need according to your space. At home, I use my large mat. In my studio, but when I'm traveling, I use my smaller sizes. They fit in a bag nicely. Make sure you have a good, sharp rotary cutter with a new blade when you're cutting a new quilt, and use rulers with good markings that you can see through so that you can cut precisely. So when I cut, I like to get all my fabric out at once and cut a block and put on a design board. So all of the pieces for one quilt block is on this design board. So as we go through, I will show you how to sew one block in each of these rows. And so I have cut one block of each row on my design boards, and I have them stacked up here. And it really saves space to use the design boards. Your pieces don't come off because these have batting on them, so your fabric sticks to it. But I really like to stack up instead of out to save space. So when I am cut like this, I take it over to the sewing machine and just start with one block at a time and unstack them. But when I'm traveling, which I do quite a bit when I'm going to sew day or to seminars or things like that, I like to just put one empty design board on the top of the stack, use 2 large rubber bands. These I got at the Container Store. I just put them on both ways, and that way you can turn it upside down, sideways, throw them in your bag, in your container, and your pieces will never fall out. They will stay together and nice and flat so that you don't have to press them again. So now that everything's cut, let's talk about what you need at your machine.